Hey, what's going on with you, family? Torch and Tease Guitars, man. So there's a price to pay for integrity. I can tell you that. And this is the transparency part of Tease Guitars coming out right at you, man. Just like a big old smack in the face. Um, Many of you know that when you order a Tease guitar and you get a Tease guitar, you open it up and you're pretty much wowed. You're like, this is really an incredible guitar. Um, and all I had to do was just tune it up and plug it in and play it, and that's great. And that's kind of our deal. Well, it's not kind of our deal, that is our deal. So right now, as it stands, I got the production samples in Tuesday, and there was a typhoon, this big giant typhoon that like killed a lot of people in the Philippines and then headed on over to China. And so they were closed on Wednesday, and here we are Thursday. I was up all night with China with the factories, and we were talking about these SPR guitars that came in. And typically speaking, when we get a shipment of guitars in, we have a taxi driver, literally a taxi driver, that goes into our factories, and he'll pull random samples out of the production line, and he'll wait for the company to box them up. He'll take the box out, and he will ship those guitars, and he follows each and every guitar, so they're not putting in the best of the best in order to get them to us. So we know that nothing's we know that what we get is random, and it would be really bad luck to have him pick six perfect guitars out of a run of guitars that have issues, and that would cause them to either be returned, or B, you wouldn't be wowed by, right? You would say, yeah, I mean, there's nothing that really affects the playability. It's still a really good guitar, but it's some little things that are not cool with me. And if they're not cool with me, you guys know me. I ain't gonna sell them. That's it. And I'll tell you something too. That the price that we pay is that the bills don't stop when we're out of inventory. I've got 6 SPRs left. I've got plenty of. I don't know. I've got not. I shouldn't say plenty. I've got maybe 30 or so of the E series left in stock, and those are being built, and those will be on time. But hopefully, we're going to do the same we do the same process every time. Well, when we do that process, typically speaking, there's always something that needs to be reworked on the guitars, and usually we can do it in house, and so it's not a big deal. And we call that a workaround. We'll work around that issue. We've gotten guitars with, say, bad tuners, and so when we get the samples, I call them up. I say, you know what, the guitar is absolutely perfect, but the tuners are just crap. And they do that, and I don't know why they do that. We send them our tuners, and they put in different tuners. And I shouldn't say we send them our tuners. We tell them where to get our tuners at, and they get different tuners that are obviously 3 cents cheaper or something. I don't even know what the reasoning is behind it, or maybe they had these in stock and wanted to use them, or whatever it is. And I'm not talking about tuners on this run. I'm talking about in general. We can work around that. We say, okay, so here's the deal. You're going to send us 200 sets of tuners, and we're going to work around that, and we'll put the new tuners on there, which is not a big deal, because I'm going to say over half the people get pro setups on these guitars, and they opt for the locking tuners that we have, because they're just really, really good tuners. As are the standard tuners. They're absolutely really good tuners. The only difference between those and the non-locking ones is that it's the non-locking. So we can work around things like that. If you got a high, let's say fret number 8 is high on every guitar, we'll level fret number 8. It's not a big deal. Those are all workarounds. But when I find something that I can't work around, or basically don't want to work around because the margins in these SPRs are so small, and I know for a fact that if you were to get a guitar from Tease and you looked at it, even though it's a great sounding, great playing, great looking guitar, if there was something that didn't affect the playability and didn't affect the looks and didn't do but you noticed it, you'd be like, well, they could have done that better. And so that's kind of what I'm trying to say, is we can do that better, and but it's nothing I can work around, right? So we're gonna make sure that when you get your guitars, there's not a, yeah, it's okay, could have been done better. That's not the way I roll. And you guys know that by the SS1 guitars. We got them. I didn't like them. We didn't sell them. Well, here's the deal. I got these. I didn't like them. We're not going to sell them. Just that's just the deal right there. I'm not going to sell something that I wouldn't be wowed about by. I think the last time we got the SPR in, I did an unboxing video of that guitar, and you could see I was excited about that guitar. I was really excited when I opened these guitars up and I looked and saw how beautiful they were. And then as we do every single time, I ripped into these guitars and I found some stuff, man, and not cool. You know what I'm saying? So if it's not cool for me, I'm just not going to sell it to you. So there's going to be a delay. The latest information that I have on these guitars, and if you think that you're let down, I'm let down too. Like I said, man, I got 6 guitars left, and the bills don't stop. When I say 6 guitars, I mean SPRs. We got plenty of E-series guitars, but the bills don't stop, you know. So it hurts me too. Believe me, it hurts me more than it hurts you. And I shouldn't say that. I don't know how much it hurts you, but so the latest word I have is that this is going to take about 3 weeks to rework these guitars, and when we get these guitars, we're gonna get another shipment, and we're gonna have our taxi driver go back in there and make sure that they did it right. I don't know if I'm gonna get 6 guitars because it's like $1,000 just to do that deal. Just so you guys know. I don't know if I want to spend another $1,000. I'd maybe spend a couple of hundred, and have him ship some guitars out. We'll quickly go through those, and not we'll thoroughly go through them, but I'm saying we'll quickly go through them and we'll quickly release that order. I think that our factories know what our expectations are, and it's things like this that make them realize we should probably take our time and do this right the first time, so we don't keep having repeat offenses of having to do workarounds and things like that. I don't want to have to do those. It'd be nice if I could just get which, by the way, that was the dream, right? Just to make a phone call and say, yeah, give me another 1,000 guitars from Aruba while I'm on the beach, and have a fulfillment center send them out to you guys. But I can tell you right now, that didn't work out for me. Anyway, so the E-Series guitars they're on schedule, so we should be getting those. Keep in mind too that we should be getting those next month here, the production samples as well from those, probably around the same time as the SPR samples. So China has like week-long holidays, sometimes like month-long holidays. Like in January, they just shut down for a month for the Chinese New Year or whatever it is. It depends on when it falls, and people do their traveling. Well, this next week, I don't know what holiday it is, but I know from the 1st to the 7th, everything is shut down in China. So, that's why it's not sooner, because we're missing a whole week. There's not going to be anybody to rework these guitars, and so we will get the guitars out, and we will get them in. We'll get them processed. We'll get them set up. We'll get them out to you guys to where when you open up the box, you say, yeah, this is what I'm used to right here, man. You know, and this doesn't mean that you take out your iPhone and blow up pictures 10 times, and send me a pinhole that looks like a crater. Because they're a bunch of guitars, man. I mean, chances are you look long enough, you're going to find one thing at least, you know what I mean? And that's kind of the deal. Every once in a while you get a really, a pristine unit. When I say and I'm not trying to say, hey, I'm going to send you a bunch of guitars with a bunch of defects on them. If I can see it and it bothers me, I'm going to destock it, or demo it or something like that, whatever it is. And there's not too many of those anyways, but for the most part you guys get really, really, really good guitars. And it's my job to be the buffer between the factory and you, in order to make sure that you get the best guitar that you possibly can and that's every penny of what you spend on these guitars. So again, transparency, integrity, that's never going to change. And if it costs a little bit of money on this end, then it costs a little bit of money on this end. That's just the way that I do things. And I don't always understand why things like this happen, but I have enough faith, right, that they did happen for a reason. And so we'll just keep doing things the way we're doing in order to continue to maintain the super, super, super supportive client base or customer base or friendships or family members, whatever you want to call it, that we currently have. It's doubling up every year, right? Our company's growing that good, and I think that it's growing the way that it's growing is because we do things like this. right? I'm not going to be like 99% of the other companies, and I'm going to tell you that these things that are wrong with this guitar is nothing major. It's something that I think that most guitar companies would just say, bro, get over it, man. It's a budget guitar. They'll deal with it. You know what I mean? It's not an issue. It's just something that you notice that shouldn't be where it is where it shouldn't be, or stuff like that. It's not a big deal. Let's just ship them out. If we get a couple back, we get a couple back. It's not the end of the world. And that's, I just don't do that, man. And you guys know I don't do that. So, that being said, I think everything's going to turn out pretty good for us. And this again was a wake up call to our factory too, because they were like, really? And I was like, yeah, really. I don't want to get any guitars back. I said, and then I gave them the option of, I tell you what, I'll take the guitars, because I knew the answer ahead of time. I said, I'll go ahead and take these guitars at a discount, and if I ship a guitar out and they send it back, then you guys pay me the shipping cost too and the replacement unit. How's that? They're like, no, we'll just go ahead and rework the guitars. I said, hey, I thought you might see it my way. So we're going to get some fresh units in, and they're going to be spot on, man. And I just wanted to let you guys know. I'm sorry that I had to take those down off of the website, but I don't want to put them up until I know for sure that they're going to be what they are. They look real good, and that's not going to change. Nothing's going to change. We're just going to keep doing the things the way we do them. So I appreciate you listening to my rambling and my babbling and everything else, man. If you have any questions or concerns or anything like that, feel free to reach out. We're always available. You can reach out on the chat. Facebook is where I put most of the stuff up at. Instagram every once in a while, and YouTube for the big deal stuff. And this is big deal stuff, man. This is very much big deal stuff for me. So in advance, I'd like to apologize for the delay, but I hopefully that you understand my protection of you as a consumer, because that's what I'm doing. I'm protecting not only the name of Tease Guitars, but I'm protecting you from any kind of disappointment that you might endure when you purchase any of our products. And for that, I thank you for purchasing our products the way that you do. You guys realize we're selling out of guitars like really quick all the time, and that's due to you. So continue to count on our integrity. You can trust in that. It's what I do. Okay, I don't backslide on certain things in my life, man. That's one of them. There's quite a few things I don't backslide on, but my integrity, it took me a long time to earn that, and every once in a while I got to put a few dollars in that account to make sure that it stays where it stays. It's at the top, man. All right. So with that, as always, family, rock on. We'll see you next time, man, and peace.